So hello, welcome to a restorative or a yin style yoga session that is for all of my mums to be out there. This includes me. I'm currently 32 weeks and gee, what a time it is to be going on this journey. And I just wanted to prepare a yoga class that can hopefully help you to spend some time truly relaxing and to release some of that stiffness in the joints. I know I've been experiencing a lot of low back pain, so we'll particularly be focusing on that today. What you'll need to have handy for the class is a couple of pillows that are nice and comfy for you. Get yourself warm so you can wear socks and a few more layers, and having a chair as well, so we can use that for some of the positions that we're going to take. So let's begin. First, coming into a comfortable seated position, and you can grab one of your pillows straight away just to elevate the hips, the sit bones, as you come into a comfortable cross leg for you. And as you sit here, close your eyes down. Become aware of your spinal column. See if you can make a small adjustment here, just to tuck your tailbone under slightly, and then to grow a little bit taller through the crown of the head, lengthening the spine. And we'll take our hands, one to rest on the rib cage or the upper part of your belly, and one to rest on the lower part of your belly. And as you feel those palms come into contact with the belly, take a moment to just be grateful for this miracle that is happening. This new life being formed within you. And then begin to breathe with intention, with a sense of calm, a sense of purpose for the breath. Think about that fresh oxygen circulating around the body. That fresh air reaching baby as well. And see how deeply you can nourish your body with the breath. Feeling a full expansion of your belly at the front, and even feeling the breath into the back of your body. Lengthening through the spine, still on your inhale, and as you exhale, really grounding down through your sitting bones onto the surface of the mat. And as you take this time to simply breathe, to be, notice how easily or naturally this is coming to you. Observe the flow of your thoughts. And take a moment as well just to scan through your body from your feet around your lower legs to your hips, your spine, your shoulders, check in with yourself, mum to be, and consider where you need some additional nourishment. Let's take a few more deep breaths here, and then we'll start to come into some gentle movement and stretches. So you can keep your eyes closed if you like, or you can gently flutter them open as we begin by simply working into the neck, and the palms can come now just to rest onto your kneecaps or your thighs. Take a big breath in, and then as you exhale, just let your right ear float down towards your right shoulder. Keep relaxing the left shoulder down away from the ear. And then take a gentle tilt of the chin forward and then back in towards the chest. Feeling that deep stretch now down the left side of your neck. And just some little micro movements here. Again with the chin, you might go from side to side. See how that feels. And then nice and gently, let's change sides. So take a final deep breath in and a deep breath out. You can sigh your breath out, really release it down. And then inhaling as the head lifts up through the center line, and just exhale as you drop now your left ear down towards your left shoulder. See if you can consciously soften and relax through the right shoulder. And then begin that little tilt of the chin, just coming forward and then coming back, chin coming towards the chest. So these tiny little movements taken really mindfully. So with the eyes closed, it can help you to really have total awareness of how the stretch feels in the body. It should feel really nice. Let's take one more big breath in. Deep breath out there with a sigh if you like. And let's inhale, draw the head back up to the center line. And we'll just take a few stretches through the back of the neck and then opening up across the chest. So inhale and lift your arms. Lift your gaze, look up, feel that nice stretch through the spine. And then interlace all of your fingers. Draw your chin down in towards your chest and take those clasped hands behind your head. Drawing now your chin down towards your chest and your elbows coming in towards each other. Allow a C curve to happen in the spine, so you can tuck baby in, drawing your belly button backward. Take a big breath in here, big breath out, and then as you next inhale, lift the chin away from the chest. Open the elbows out to the side, lift your gaze and really try and broaden across the collarbones. This time pushing the belly, pushing baby forward. One more big inhale here as you open, and then exhale, reversing that movement again. Chin comes in towards the chest, elbows towards one another. Let's do that once more. On your next inhale, open, expand across the chest. Let the elbows drift wide. And as you exhale, curling the elbows towards one another, stretching through the back of the neck. The last time we'll inhale, open, expand. And then exhale, just let the hands float down to your side. And let's come into a bit of a side body stretch. So taking your right hand down now in line with your right hip, Big inhale as you just reach up and overhead to that right hand side. So trying to reach far beyond the head and drawing now your left shoulder back and your right shoulder forward, grounding down through your left hip, your sitting bone. Big inhale, lovely expansion here. Exhale, ground down through that left sit bone. And then inhale as you lift yourself through the center line, and let's change sides. So the left hand comes down now in line with the left hip. Big inhale as we stretch the right hands overhead, reaching towards the right hand side. The left hand side. Let's draw now the right shoulder back, the left shoulder forward, ground down through that right sitting bone, and just that beautiful deep stretch through the side of the body. It should feel really good. And again, you can close your eyes and just explore little micro movements in the body, deepening your own stretch. This is all about you, your time. One more big inhale here. Big exhale melts into the position, and then let's inhale and draw ourselves back to upright. We'll come now into a bit of a mushy, melty stretch. So still in a seat, and hopefully this is comfortable enough for you, especially if you've got that cushioning beneath your sit bones. And we'll bring now the soles of our feet together, so into a butterfly position with the hips. And you can edge the feet further forward in front of you, or you can bring the heels closer into the groin, just depending on what's comfortable. And then take another support, a pillow, a cushion, place it out in front. You might need to stack it quite high, as we want to be able to fold forward onto this comfortably and have enough room for baby as well. So big inhale here, draw the shoulders back in towards each other. And then exhale as you fold yourself forward into the butterfly position. So create as much support as you need to find rest for your forehead. And again, stay grounding down through the sitting bones and allow gravity to pull your chest, your upper body forward. Lengthen through the spine, lengthen through the back of the neck, so draw your chin in. See if you can make yourself nice and heavy through the quadricep muscles. So we're melting, we're softening through our sit bones, opening up through the groin. And keep breathing here. Feel that deep expansion of the belly. If you feel it all compressed through the belly, like this is too much with this far of a lean forward, then bring yourself further to upright. Create higher props or positions. And here you can be thinking about the deep release through the hips. You can be concentrating on your breath. You can be sending yourself positive thoughts. Taking the time to enjoy some stillness, to enjoy just staying in one place, staying put. And as we hold for longer, we're reaching some deeper layers here of our muscle tissue, particularly where there might have been strain through your lower back. A lot of pressure there as we carry that extra weight around day after day, like the superwoman that we are. Let's take one more deep breath here. And then let it out. You can take that nice sigh if you like. And then let's inhale as we just creep our fingertips nice and gently back in towards us and moving that support away. As you gently lift your knees back towards one another, extend the legs out long in front of you, and for a moment just take a little wiggle. So you can let your thighs bend like jelly and relax here. We'll come down nice and gently to a more upright position. Coming through first a practice of our yogi squat, which is really helpful for further opening through the hips. So taking as much time as you need to draw your feet in towards you, and then lifting your hips up off of the mat, off of the earth. Now understand that this doesn't come as naturally for everybody, especially if you haven't been practicing squatting for a while. So there's lots of ways we can support ourselves here. If you find that you rise up onto your toes as you try to squat down, then you can prop up your heels with some extra cushion, some extra support. Or if you find that you'd like to support your squat further, fold yourself up some pillows and you can sit onto those pillows as well. So once you've found a squat position that feels sustainable for you, that's comfortable enough, really draw your energy down into the hips. Let that be the heaviest part of your body. Create a further gentle opening through the thighs by taking, if you like, your elbows to the inside edges of your legs, drawing your thumbs in towards your chest, and maybe closing the eyes here, just becoming as comfortable as you can be in this position. Feel that deep feminine energy radiating from the center of your being. And here, as we breathe in, really focus on that deep expansion of the lungs. And as you breathe out, I want you to try and make it a longer breath, a controlled exhale. Before we come out of this position, we'll add another little lateral stretch in here. So taking first your left hand to the inner edge of your left foot, and then using that pressure, that resistance of the left elbow against the inside edge of the left thigh. Take a big breath in as you stretch into an open twist here, lifting your right hand up towards the ceiling. Big inhale, and then let's change sides. Exhale as that right hand comes down to the inside edge of your right thigh, and then let's stretch and lift up now. The left hand to the ceiling. Draw that left shoulder back, that right shoulder forward. Once more each way, so just changing sides, expanding as deeply as feels good for you. And you should feel here through the thoracic spine, that little twisting motion as you change from side to side. And then the challenge from here to start to rise to our feet, maintaining the squat position. So use your fingertips, drive through the heels, lift the sit bones, and arrive first just in our halfway lift. So the legs should still be wider than hip distance apart. Take your palms now and press them into the front of your shins, and then lengthen through the legs, lengthen your spine, and lift your gaze so you're looking up. Take a big inhale here, and then as you exhale, let the kneecaps soften And just allow yourself to fold gently forward. Again, inhale to the halfway lift, so lengthen the legs and lengthen the arms, lift the gaze. And then exhale, chin comes in towards the chest, kneecaps are nice and soft. Make sure there's plenty of room for baby, so you can take your feet a little wider if you need. And take that forward fold just as far as feels comfortable for you. And then this time, we'll inhale and rise all the way to standing. So taking your palms to the top of your thighs and then start to lift up through the spine nice and gently. Shoulders roll onto the back. Now next forward fold, we'll use the assistance of our chair. So coming to stand in front of the chair, and we'll bring one of our pillows to rest on the top of the chair as well. Take your feet again, hip distance apart, maybe a little wider. Big inhale here, draw the shoulders onto the back. And then exhale as you soften through your knees and start to fold forward. This time bringing your hands to rest on the chair in front of you. Keep elongating through the spine here, ground down through your feet. And you can keep that softness in the knees as you fold. Now maybe it feels nice for you to fold at the elbows and bring your forehead down to rest. Really make yourself as comfortable as you can here. Keep driving the sit bones behind you, so really push back into the heels of the feet. Lengthen through your lower spine. And it feels really nice for me here to do a little sway from side to side, so you can see how that feels if you like. Shifting the body weight gently from one foot to the other. And just breathing calmly, gently into the back of the body. Allowing baby to have all of that space that they need. And as you sway from side to side, if you have taken that option, you'll feel that stretch through the sides of the hips. Let's take one more big breath in here. Big breath out, really melt forward. And then as you inhale again, just taking your palms back to the top of your thighs and rolling yourself up nice and gently to a standing position. Let's come into a deeper hamstring stretch, again using the support, the assistance of the chair. So bringing now your right foot forward and your left foot behind you. So about 3 feet apart in terms of distance between heel and toe. And then have your legs at least hip distance apart, maybe even a little bit wider so that we'll have room for baby as we take a fold forward. Lengthen through the legs. Check that the hips are pointing forward. And then take a big inhale, draw the shoulders onto the back. And as you exhale, again, hinging at the hips, bringing yourself forward to that support of your chair. You might need to edge it a little bit closer in towards you so that you can really use that support of the chair for the upper body as we ground down through the lower body and feel that hamstring stretch, that release through the right leg now. So keep breathing deeply here. Keep lengthening through the spine. So see if you can draw your chest further forward in space to really create that length through the lower part of your spine. We want to elongate those muscle tissues that have possibly become a little bit compressed due to the extra pressure at the moment. Push down through the outer edge of your left foot. Again, try and draw yourself a little further forward in space. Think about the nipple line coming further forward. We'll take a few more deep breaths here. It's nice to hold for longer, even if it feels quite intense, to allow ourselves to reach that point of release through the muscle fiber. And to just not be in such a rush. Remember again, it's the time for you. So a few more nice deep breaths here. Enjoying the moment, enjoying the stretch. And then let's gently lift ourselves back to upright. So rising first, maybe up onto the fingertips if you come down to the forearms. Lifting yourself back to upright, and then we'll change sides. So simply step that right foot back. You can take a little pedal, a little wiggle out before we switch over. Left foot coming forward now. Right foot stepping back about 3 feet apart in terms of distance from left heel to right toe. And then at least hip distance apart, or maybe even a little wider in terms of your lateral position of the feet. And then have some softness through your kneecaps, but do still lengthen through the legs. Take a big breath in, roll the shoulders onto the back, and then exhale, hinge at the hips. Allowing yourself to fold forward, to find that support of your chair. And maybe you need to be lifted up a little bit higher. This might be intense enough for you. Listen to your own body. See what feels good for you. Have a slight angle on your back foot as well. I should have said on your right foot, about a 25-degree angle, but just to help keep those hips pointing forward. So draw the right hip a little further forward. Feel it come into alignment with that left hip. And then melt down. And again, let's lengthen through the lower spine. Draw the chest forward and space, ground down through the right heel and side of your right foot, that outer edge. It's an interesting time to pick up on any differences between the two sides of the body. And allow yourself to really deeply melt into this position now. Can you soften across the back of the shoulder blades? See if you're gripping or holding on through the muscles in your face. Next exhale that you take, let your jaw relax. With the eyes closed, feel your eyelids just soften against your eyes. See if you can continue to draw that right hip forward, to continue to elongate through the spine, lengthen the back of your neck. And just one more nice big breath in. Deep breath out. And then inhale, bringing yourself nice and slowly back up. We're never in any rush to return to standing. And up we come. So we can move the chair to the side now. Step your feet back in towards one another. If it's taking up a bit too much room on your mat, just taking it out of the way nice and gently. Actually, you do do have an option here. So you could continue with the chair. We're going to come into a downward dog. So if you need that support of the chair with the feet back, then that's an option to take. Otherwise, I'm going to use my pillows for a bit of support for downward dog. And if this is something you're comfortable doing, then you can do the same. So let's take a breath in to prepare, lift the arms, lift the gaze. And then exhale, hinging at the hips. Softness in the knees, feet are a little wider than hip distance apart, and your hands come down to the mat. Start to walk your feet back behind you, one little step at a time. And again, making sure there's plenty of room for baby, so you can have the feet as wide as you need to allow your belly to draw back. And then using the support of the pillows here to rest your head. I've got a jumper coming up over my mouth. So drawing the chin in towards the chest, crown of the head melting down. And keep pushing here, your heels down towards the mat. They might not touch, you might be lifted up on your balls of your feet a little bit. Softness in the knees, but making your sit bones, your hips, the highest point of the body and really melting down through the heart. If this is too much, it's too intense for you, of course you can always drop your knees to the floor and come to an early child's pose. Otherwise we'll all be going there next together. Again, I can't seem to help but put a little bit of wiggle into my body. So if that feels good for you, do the same. Move the hips from side to side gently. A little dance with yourself, a little dance with baby. Or maybe it's bending one knee at a time, stretching out through your calves. Notice if they're a little tired. We'll take one more big breath in, and then this time as we exhale, bring your knees down to the mat. Bring your big toes together to touch, and we'll come into a supported child's pose. So using, again, your pillows, your cushions, making sure there's plenty of room for baby as you take a little fold forward onto those supports. Now I've turned my head to one side, and that might be comfortable for you. You might want to put your forehead down onto the pillows. If you have your head on one side, just even it out by flipping the head after a couple of breaths. So I'll tell you when, and we can do that together if you're on the side of the head like me. And here we're just pushing our hips back towards our heels, creating space through the lower back. And again, just giving yourself permission to enjoy this time, this space that you've created. And feel your deep breathing into the back of your spine. If you've been on one side of the head, just switching it over now. Let's edge nice and slowly up from here. So fingertips creeping in towards your knees, lifting through the belly. And we'll pause for a moment to take a little back bend, a baby camel pose. So hands coming behind you with your fingertips pointing towards the hips. Let's inhale at first as we're up on the fingertips, and then exhale as you push the heels of your palms into the mat. and drive your heart forward. Feel that lift through the chest, shoulders squeezing towards one another, length through the back of the neck, through the front of the neck, sorry. Big inhale here, and then exhale. Let the chin come forward, rise back up onto the fingertips, and just curl forward for a moment. Counter the effect of that back bend. We'll do one more. So inhale as we lift up through the spine, coming onto the fingertips pointing towards the feet, and then exhale as you push down, heels of your palms. Lift your chest, drive your heart forward, squeeze your shoulder blades in towards one another, length through the front of the neck, chin tilts up to the ceiling. One more big inhale here, expand your heart space. Baby just gave me a big kick, and then exhale. Chin coming in towards the chest, rise back onto the fingertips, and just let yourself drift forward, counter that back bend with a C curve in your spine. Well, let's come into some deeper releases through the lower back, through the spine, through the hips. So swinging your legs around now. And extending first your left leg out long. Taking the sole of your right foot in towards your inner thigh. And just as much as you're comfortable to do so, we're going to take a little forward fold here over that extended left leg. Again, taking care that there's plenty of room for baby as you fold forward. So it doesn't need to be far. You could just simply bring your fingertips to the ground and then focus again on that lengthening out through the spine. Or if you are comfortable, you have a bit more space, you can set up your cushion, your prop, and fold yourself down onto that pillow. So we're feeling here for a release through that lower back. Keep flexing the toes in towards you on your left leg. We're grounding down through both sitting bones. So a few nice deep breaths here. And we're not so concerned when it comes to this yin or restorative practice about how this should look. Think of yourself as a bit of a rag doll here. And just let yourself melt to come into whatever form of this posture feels right for the body to relax. Let's take one more deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then inhale nice and gently. Draw yourself back to an upright position, nice and tall through the spine. And we'll come into a deeper stretch through our hip flexor in the right hand side by crossing now that right leg over the left. Draw the knees roughly into alignment. Again, check if there's enough room for baby. It might be that you can't quite cross the knees in front of one another. And then just stretch through the side of the hip. We want to lean to the left. So again, set up your props. Make yourself cozy. And then just take that lean. You should feel a deep release here through that right hip flexor. And keep engaging through the back of the left leg, flexing those toes in towards you. We're going to hold here for a little while.
Now you might notice this stretch in particular feels quite intense. There can be quite a lot of heat, some deep sensations. And what we'd like to do is practice that calm, steady breath. Will serve us well with what we've got coming up in terms of breathing through labour. If that's the way that you're going to be giving birth. And it can be quite difficult to maintain that steady breath, so you might want to add some counting. Seeing if you can count up to maybe 4 or 5 as you breathe in. And then hold that breath, retain it for another count of 4 to 5. And then as you release the breath, try to do it more slowly, so can you lengthen your count out to around a 7 or an 8. Take a few more deep breaths here. I'm enjoying it so much I don't want to come out. And of course, if you do want to come back to any of these stretches to return to something that felt particularly yummy or particularly helpful for you, you could hit pause on the video and you can stay here longer, as long as you like. Or you can remember to give it another go later in the day to answer your body's call for what it needs. And now let's lift out and change sides. So using your inhale breath and nice, gentle, controlled movements just to lift yourself back to upright. And we can unhook that bent leg. And again, that little release through the legs, let them be like jelly. And we'll change over to the other side. So first, extending the right leg and then bending that left leg with the sole of the left foot coming in towards your thigh. And if your knee's hanging up quite high, you can also cushion that knee there so that we're still grounding down through the sit bones and feeling as cozy as is possible. And remembering we want to have heaps of room for baby as we come forward. So maybe you just come onto your fingertips and this is enough for you and you're just holding here. Again, we're thinking about that length though through the lower spine to release there. So try and shift your shoulders, your chest a little further forward in space. Maybe you're setting up a pillow so that you can bring yourself into a supported forward fold. Really try and draw here the left shoulder forward. So we're stretching now through the back of that right hamstring. And we're targeting the spine as well, creating that length again through those parts of muscle that might have become a little compressed with that extra pressure they're facing at the moment. Let's keep the deep breathing going here. That intention to soften, to relax. enjoy this time. I've seen from a few women how challenging it can be to feel that they need to slow down. It's a challenge for myself. And can we reframe that need to slow down into an opportunity to do this? Let's listen to our bodies, let's embrace the process of what's happening, and let's give ourselves the time, the nourishment that we need through this gentle forms of exercise that support and care for our joints. One more big breath in here, big breath out, and then we'll inhale as we gently lift the spine back to an upright position and setting up for that beautiful half shoelace pose on the other side, if you wanted to know what it's called. So we're crossing now that left leg over top of the right. So the right leg's still stretched out long, that left knee's now bent, and we're trying to curl it so far so that the knees roughly come into alignment. If that's really not happening for you, then that's okay. The knee can sit to the side a little bit. Just as long as you're getting a little stretch here through that left hip flexor. And we'll add that little lean over to the right hand side to deepen that stretch. Again, you might just take a tiny lean and think, oh, that's enough. You might set your props up. Get yourself as cozy as you can be as you take that lean. I like to just let my head rest in my hand. And deeply breathe here. We often get a lot of pressure, a lot of build up through these hip joints. And you can return to that practice, if you like, of the counting of the breath. That deep, nourishing inhale for a count of 4 to 5. The pause, the retention of the breath for another count of 4 to 5. And that slow release of the breath, counting up to a 7 or an 8. Seeing if you can let go a little more deeply with each breath that you take out. You're still encouraging that length through the back of the right leg. Still encouraging the grounding down of the sitting bones and the lengthening through the left side of the body. Oh, feel how that deep breath just helps to target that opening as well. Again, I feel like I'd probably stay here for far longer than you'd care to watch on a video, so this might be one that I have to come back to myself later today. In the interests of keeping this clip of a reasonable length, let's take our last few deep breaths here. nice and gently lifting yourself back to an upright position, unhooking that leg, and again, little wiggle through the legs there. And we're going to come down onto our backs, but not flat back position, so we're still respecting that we don't want to create too much pressure. So setting up your pillows, making sure you've got a couple that are going to help you create this expansion here as we lay back. And then we're bringing our hips right in towards those supports. And just allowing yourself to fold back over the supports of your pillows. And just keeping your knees bent for a moment. And then lift the tailbone. And then lower the tailbone. So we're pushing through the heels. Knees are about hip distance apart. Again, lift the tailbone. Curl your pubic bone at the top here in towards your rib cage. Create a little squeeze. You feel it through your glutes. Big breath in and then exhale. Let the tailbone find the ground again. Let's think about the pelvic floor while we do that now. So drive through the heels and then engage the pelvic floor as you tilt your pubic bone towards your rib cage. Squeeze like you're trying to hold in a wee. Drawing yourself up into that high point, squeezing through the glutes, and then relax, exhale as you tilt your tailbone back down towards the mat. One more time like that, nice squeeze, drive through the heels, lift, and then gently release, lower it back down. And we'll come now into just a final resting pose. So I really like taking this with the support of the pillows behind me. And so we've got that lean, that incline in the back here. And you can set your pillows up a little bit differently. You could even go a little bit higher through the back. Or if you don't feel comfortable laying in this position, you think it's a little bit too close to flat back, you can roll over onto your side and take the final few minutes laying on your side with a pillow perhaps between the knees to support them there. And then you can choose as well what you'd like to do in this position. So maybe on your side, getting cozy, maybe on your back. You can bring the soles of the feet together if you like and let the knees fall apart. You can bring the feet further apart from one another and let the knees fall in towards one another. Or you can take your legs out long. And just let yourself come into a state of calm relaxation. Letting go. And noticing again now how easily you're able to relax. Letting this be a time too where you just see what's coming into the mind. Is there some sort of nagging worry or repetitive thought that's been hounding you? If that comes into the mind, just let it arrive. And then imagine that you're putting that thought into a bubble. And then watching that little bubble just float away. Keep returning to the sensation of your breath. To the softness that you feel in the back of the body. breaths now in this position. Deeply filling, expanding the ribcage, filling that space with air. And letting it out, sighing again if you like. I don't know why it feels so good to make the noise, but it does. I found myself sighing in the shower lately. Release. If you're already laying on your side, you just wait there for a few more breaths. If you've been still on your back with the support of the pillows, let's come to our sides nice and gently. So just bending at one knee and then the other if the knees weren't already bent. And drawing yourself over onto your side, preferably your left. And just pause there for a moment, let the body settle. All together, we'll come up from here. Just using your fingertips and try to keep the eyes closed just for the moment if you can. Spine comes back to upright in a nice seated position, and let's come out of this in a gentle, soothing way with a little bit of self-massage. So just bringing your hands now to your ankles and rubbing your palms along your shins, over your kneecaps. And we're thinking here really positive, really nourishing thoughts as we massage the body, bringing the palms to the quadriceps. And then rubbing your palms over your belly. Again, a nice, positive, nourishing thought for baby, sharing your love. Taking the hands around to the hips there and just massaging into the hips, into the lower spine, into the lower back, around the sides of the body. And then bringing your hands up to your shoulders and gently massaging into the top of the shoulders. Just seeing anywhere where there's a little point of tension, seeing if you can give it a little release. And then take that little self-massage around the back of your neck. Take the palms around the back of the head, maybe even a little massage there if you feel like it. Hands come over the top of the head and gently down over your face, and take your fingers to your earlobes and just give them a little massage. Bring your opposite hand to opposite shoulder. Again, give yourself a little wee hug here. And then rubbing your hands down your arms, your biceps, along the triceps until the palms are touching in front of you. And then just rub your hands back and forth here. Seeing if you can generate some real nice heat between the hands. And once you've made the hands, the palms nice and warm, take them, press them into your closed eyes. And then nice and gently take the hands away, let the eyes flutter open, press your palms. Bow your head to your hands, take a little bow forward. Namaste. I hope that you've enjoyed this, that it's been good to take that time out for yourself. I will create some more of these videos over the next few weeks. So I'm looking forward to sharing a bit about our pregnancy journeys together if you're following along. Lots of love to you at this time. What strong mamas we're going to be, what strong children we're going to have, I think, as a result of all this. So it's exciting.